lunch break. And that means we're doing what people do on lunch breaks. We're doing what I do on lunch breaks. And that is watch videos. Okay. We are going to be watching the Valorant Storytime Briefly Explained. Because I have been getting told that I need to catch up on the Valorant lore. Because apparently shit's going down. So, this was from a few months ago. So I don't know how up to date it is. But it will be good. It will be good.
Far. I want this to be a
there's now audio. Can we go back a few seconds?
Hi there. Welcome to the entire timeline of Valorant story so far.
Yay!
I want this to be a bare bones, easy, and brief way for new console and mobile players to get into Valorant story.
Thank
as
you.
well as PC players who don't know much of it. I could have made this video well over 3 hours with all of Valorant's lore, which is just
could be a 3-hour-long lore video. Crazy. That's crazy. Thank you for it not being 3 hours, because that's crazy.
It's a testament to how dense it is for a PvP shooter that drip feeds its story. I'll go by how the information was released through Valorant Saga and Seasons, which are called acts, and 3 acts equal an episode. With that out the way, let's start with episode 0. Valorant's story before the protocol was formed. The First Light was a major event that impacted the whole Earth. It was described as a huge EMP pulse shutting down power for billions and lasted hours before...
Hold on, there's words. A global electromagnetic pulse that wiped out power across the globe. This EMP lasted multiple hours before power was restored to the world. That's crazy.
Electricity was restored.
That's crazy.
It's unknown what caused this event, but that there was a research facility not far from its source working on radionite. One of the narrative writers on Valorant's team details the First Light as a supercharged radionite event. This is where once an average society drastically changes. This event gave life to what we know as radiance, radivores, and radionite itself. A mysterious substance, if refined properly, radivore.
That's cute. This is cute. This little animal, I don't know what it is. The radivores. That's cute. It's cute. It's a cute. I don't know. I want to call it an animal, but it's cute.
And radionite itself. A mysterious substance, if refined properly, would hold mass amounts of power. Power that Kingdom would use to supply 3/4 of the world's energy.
Chat, I would like it to be known that I've only played Valorant a handful of times. So, I don't know what Jack Diddley Squad is called. I just want to put that out there. So if I say something's a thingy, tell me it's a thingy. So please feel free to correct me if I get anything wrong.
Needs. This will help Kingdom branch into other areas like apparel, food, health, and research. They are currently everywhere, which is why it's hard to tell this story without mentioning them. The same with radionite, which is the driving force for our story. It helped accelerate the advancement of Earth's technology and research. These drastic changes to Earth sparked the formation of the Valorant Protocol, or the VP for short, an organization tasked with keeping the world safe from dangerous situations involving radionite. And while we're on the topic, Kingdom does not fund the protocol, despite some of its members formerly working for them. Brimstone...
No! That's not what I'm meant to do! If you can hear me eat, I'm so sorry. I'm doing my best to keep it down.
Despite some of its members formerly working for them. Brimstone and Viper are responsible for the formation of the...
I've played... I think I played Viper. I don't know. I have to go back and check. But I think I played Viper. I know I got like the basics. And then I got like 1 from when I first started playing. So I think I got Viper. I don't know, but Viper really cool. I think Viper really cool.
VP, with Brimstone being the leader and Viper being the second in command. Omen is known to have played a part in the protocol's founding too. We currently don't know who's the one funding this organization. If we fast forward to the events of episode 1, 14 agents would have joined the protocol. Killjoy, a German tech genius who used to work for Kingdom. Cypher, the Moroccan who is skilled in gathering intel and wiping information off about agents who join. Sova, a Russian marksman who you can count on. Sage, the team's healer who can do so much more.
Sage is
Phoenix,
cool.
the British hothead running into danger first and thinking second. Jet, a skilled
That's my main right there. That's my main. Do I know how to play her? No, but that's my go-to.
South Korean who can control the wind. Reyna, a fearsome and proud Radiant, who has a city to protect of other Radiants from those who may try to exploit their powers or even harm them. Raze, the Brazilian with big explosives and even bigger personality. Breach, a former Swedish mercenary with arms that can break into anything. And lastly, Sky, the earth-loving Aussie who's willing to get down and dirty to protect nature. You may have noticed that so far I've only named 13 agents altogether instead of 14.
Yeah, you're
This is
missing
because
one,
the
bro.
number 8 has been redacted from the team. Agent 8 supposedly exists, but we currently know nothing about them. Episode 1 is also when the events of the Duelist cinematic takes place. Here we will see Phoenix face off against an enemy jet, but eventually lose, leading to a spike explosion lifting portions of Italy into the sky. This will be known as Ascent in game. It would also cause the likes of both Jet and Phoenix's face to be plastered all over the world for the wrong reasons, as criminals responsible for this disaster. This event will also cause the public to be distrusting of Kingdom, who saw their stocks fall hard.
That's
We will
crazy.
then travel to Bine, a Radianite mining facility in Morocco. Here we will see the likes of Phoenix, KJ, and Viper trying to stop another spike explosion from happening. To the surprise of many, we see two Phoenix facing each other just before KJ was
That's
able to build a
crazy.
device to stop the spike explosion, with the help of Phoenix superheating Radianite too. After this, Viper states that she and Brimstone will inform Phoenix about the agent's doubles. This is when the protocol will start operating differently too. Before this event, the agents would typically work solo, which explains why Phoenix did not recognize Jet. I guess successfully stopping disaster on Bind made them figure that it's better to work as a team. This is when the idea of Mirror Earth becomes known to us as well, and explains parts of the plot of why agents who look alike fight each other over Radianite. We'll go more into them in episode 3 and 5. Also keep in mind that the
Cool.
Duality cinematic was released in episode 2 but takes place during the events of episode 1. Duality actually takes place the day after the Venice incident.
But first, I would deeply appreciate it if you considered liking and subscribing to
Like
this
and
channel,
subscribe.
as well as be a member in the future. I have these subscriber milestone goals. At 1K,
Like
we'll
and
do a
subscribe.
Q&A plus a deep dive video on one specific agent that you guys vote on. At 5,000 subscribers, I'll do a live stream power scaling video with the community, and then put out a separate video based
my
on what you
goodness.
guys vote on, as well as my own opinions too. At 10,000 subscribers, I'll do a full-on video detailing everything that I can find in Valorant Lore, which will
That'd be
most likely
crazy.
be over 2 hours.
Like,
Thank you for your time.
2 to 3
Please
hour
consider
video?
subscribing, and let's get
That's
back
crazy
on track
that
with this
there's
talk.
that much lore. That
Icebox
could
was
be
released. It's
2 to
based
3
slightly
hours.
north of
That's
Russia.
crazy.
It's a kingdom port and research facility that holds artifacts from Japan's Tokugawa era. Some of these artifacts hold Radianite in them, which starts to raise suspicion that maybe humans started working with it well before Kingdom researched it. And while we're here, we can't forget about our first appearance of Paul Dillman, Employee of the Month. Haven and Split were also playable at this time. For Haven, Kingdom
Is Paul like just like a character you never see? That but is like super important. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm throwing stuff out there.
transformed this temple into a Radianite storage facility, and Radianite may have a hand in the rocky formations that appear here. Split, though, is Kingdom's headquarters and main research lab. Some of the locals aren't a fan of them because this mega corporation has a tendency to ignore cultural and historic landmarks in an area, and at times ruins them. In episode 2, the likes of both Yoru and Astra joined the protocol. Yoru joined before her as the 15th agent. He's a proud and confident Japanese Radiant who can open small rifts in reality and walk in
That's
them,
crazy.
as well as teleport. He
That's
joined the
crazy.
protocol after breaking into Icebox and stealing a mask that helps him better use his powers. We first see him in the retake cinematic where him and Phoenix successfully fought off Viper, Cypher, and Jet's doubles. The most interesting part about the cinematic is that as the spike is counting down, boxes are suspended in the air, like they're defying gravity. This is a common trait with Radianite. And if we fast forward, Astra is the 16th agent added to the protocol.
I think
Hailing
now this might just be my horrible gameplay of Valorant. Is that a game mechanic? Because that happened too. I don't like having the spike thing. Too much responsibility. But the few times I play with my friends and they force it upon me, The amount of times that has happened is horrible. Like, why are you making it harder? I already don't like having this fight because I never know I have it, and then I get yelled at to place it, and I'm like, oh, okay, yes, boss. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad, gang, my bad.
From Ghana, this upbeat and comical individual is what we call an astral guardian.
She
A
looks
group
so
of
cool.
ancient
They
beings
look so
tasked
cool.
with defending reality
Oh
from
my
danger.
God, they're
This
so
group of individuals left behind structures and artifacts like Astra's arm, which helps her better control her powers too. Regardless, her goals are in line with that of the protocol, so joining their ranks was a no-duh. Breach was also playable in episode 2. It's located in the Caribbeans and is a radianite mining facility. You can see caves filled with it, which could make one think that radianite is a lot older than we thought, and that it forms with the earth. You can also see that a ship has crashed into the island around a site, as well as a teleporter that will play an important role for something else later. If we go to the opposite side of an island, there's a mansion belonging to an NPC named Thurston Wolf. We can see that there are murals detailing the story of radianite crashing into his home. Breeze's story leads us to episode 3, where we saw the likes of KO, Chamber, and Fracture added to the game. KO is from an alternate futures timeline, a future that had the Radianite Wars break out, a war that possibly lasted hundreds of years. It was implied that it was started and led by Reyna as one side's queen. We can assume in this alternate future that the VP had split up. KO was built during this time since he had the ability to suppress people's powers with polarized Radianite. Originally, his acronym stood for Kingdom Anti-Yield Operative, but KO himself likes to say it's kill all your opponents. After the war ended, countless lives were lost, including some on the team. KO was sent back in time to stop the war from ever taking place, through the teleporter on Breeze. We were also able to see Fracture in episode 3. Its location is in New Mexico, and home to the Everin Lynn project. This was a joint venture between both Earth's Kingdom companies, the Kingdom Corporation for Alpha Earth, and the Kingdom Industries for Omega Earth. Fracture gives us insight that things aren't looking too hot for
Chat. Can I be honest? If anyone, I cannot take the words Alpha and Omega seriously. I cannot take those words seriously at all. Because my brain goes to a different kind of Alpha and Omega, which is not applicable here. But every time someone says that, that's where my brain cell goes to. So, so like fair warning, that just if every time someone says Alpha and Omega, that's just where my brain goes to. So that's just your fair little warning. In case it gets really bad, I'll do my best to not have my brain go there, but just so you know.
For Omega Earth. As we can see with these posters, they seem to be putting pressure more on the researchers with a sense of urgency too. While
What a
Alpha
bunch of
Earth's posters
a-holes.
seem to be more one of hope and happiness. This facility is located on Alpha Earth, and Omega researchers will use teleporters to travel to it. Employees were forbidden from working with each other's doubles. One day, the facility's radiant collider exploded, which destroyed it and killed many working there. Currently, the facility is abandoned, but a massive blue line fracture separates both sides. Sir Jeppy does a great job at detailing the events of this tragedy. There were only a few individuals that survived, including the likes of Ori McNiff and Ruben Pointes. Their names will come up later in the future.
Okay.
Paul Dillman also worked on the fracture facility too. The cause of this disaster is unknown to many in the story of Valorant, but to us, we know it was by Alpha Chamber and his Omega double. The reasons why he did this are unknown. Chamber was able to get into contact with Brimstone and Viper while they were being held captive. You can hear Viper's voice in the beginning of his trailer. After saving Brimstone, Chamber positions himself as a person who can help them get to Omega Earth. Even though the two leaders don't fully trust him at this point, they agree to let Chamber help them, and thus he becomes the 18th member on the protocol. And just like Brimstone, Viper, and Killjoy, he also worked for Kingdom. He was their weapon designer and knows a thing or two about the Breeze teleporter. He was also in the French military and a part of Kingdom's defense program. We'll start episode 4 with Neon, the lightning-fast Filipina, joining the protocol. But prior, she, like Brimstone, was a part of KSEC, which is Kingdom's private military division. She was brought on based off
Neon's
of
so
Chamber's
pretty.
recommendation, since her powers could help them travel to Omega Earth. Killjoy states that Neon's bioelectricity is enlaced
Neon's
with
so
Earth's
pretty.
Radianite mesh, and that this feat shouldn't be possible, but it is. So her and Neon continue to work on the mission to Omega Earth, while Reina and Sage fights over who should be training her. Meanwhile, Yoru went back to Icebox and discovered more dimensional tearing that was older and wondered why Japanese armor was filled with radianite, despite Kingdom stating that they discovered it only 10 years ago. During his time on the warship, he fell into a space and possibly time traveled, or at least viewed.
Well, if you said you discovered it 10 years ago, but it's been showing signs so early, I think that's a lie. I don't know objectively, but I think if someone says that they discovered it 10 years ago, but you're finding it in like ancient Japanese like armor and stuff, I think someone lied to you, and that's been around for a lot longer than 10 years. That's just what that's just what I think. You know, I think something happened. So you think you discovered it 10 years ago, but it actually was not discovered 10 years ago. That's all.
Either the future or the past. These events coincide with Yoru's rework in game, which saw him get buffs and changes to his kit, which is lore as to how Yoru got more powerful. For the rest of episode 4, the protocol was dealing with a blackmailer who was revealing information on each agent. We learned a lot more about their fears and past accomplishments. With Brimstone, we found out that his childhood friend, Tyreek Porter, died, and the blackmailer questions if he has what it takes to avoid leading this team to slaughter again. And
This blackmailer is a meanie.
Viper's dossier, we found out that she was a young genius, but an incident changed her personality. The blackmailer points out that the First Light was not kind to Omen and foreshadows that he might not be happy with the answers he seeks. With Sage, we found out that she was a part of a monastery and that their teachings kind of went against what Sage was doing with the protocol. For Raze, it's that she may have won many battles against Kingdom in her beloved city, but the war continues without her there. For Chamber, his motives are still a mystery to the blackmailer, but still they state that the judgment for his past actions could ruin all his credibility. And just like Viper, KJ was a young prodigy. However, the blackmailer points out that her works with Kingdom may have resulted in the deaths of many. With Cypher, the blackmailer points out his safe house
That's
locations
crazy.
as a way to startle him and even predicts his next moves, as well as the fact that he has a problem with showing his face to anyone, especially those the closest to him. The pressure to never miss was pointing towards Sova, and that possibly his legacy was built on a lie. There were details about how Breach chose to live a life of crime, despite given a second chance, as well as a trip to Salvador. This could be alluding to the time that him and Raze teamed up. However, for Sky, it's stated that she has a history of fighting against corporations. But the blackmailer wonders how different Valorant may be. It's clear that the blackmailer does not know the complete inner workings of the team, since their agenda isn't based on profit, like the corporations that Sky fought. And the thing that was pointed out with Neon was control, or a lack of it, something that her parents had when helping others in their community and the world. For Jet, the blackmailer brings up a number of incidents her Omega counterpart framed her, and how that ruined her life. That there are some things that her feet can't outrun. Phoenix Dossier focused on his reckless nature that holds back his potential to achieve more in life. For Astra, we get a bit more backstory on her, and even points out some struggles that she has. For Reina, this is where we get the info that she has a sanctuary, and how it's a byproduct of her painful past to protect others like her from going through something similar.
I think this blackmailer I don't like it, because like, why are you sharing all this information? I don't like the blackmailer, because why are you sharing all this information about other people? That's crazy. That's crazy that you're sharing information about other people like that. Like, bro.
Can also be a reason why she trains so hard. However, the blackmailer points out that some things may just be out of her control, like Lucia's health. Yoru's dossier points out his loner behavior may leave him empty once his goals have been accomplished. And lastly, Ko. We are reminded of his purpose of eliminating dangerous radiance, despite him being on a team full of them. KO, Breach, Neon, Chambers, and Cypher were sent to capture the blackmailer. However, this was quite a struggle for.
Okay, okay, KO makes no sense currently in my brain cells right now. Because you're supposed to kill Radiants, but you're on a team full of them. Are they like, once you're done, you're gonna kill them? Like, once you're done with your mission, you're just gonna kill everyone on your team because they're all Radiant? That's crazy. That's crazy.
them until KO came down to suppress their abilities. As we know now, Fade was the blackmailer, making the agents relive their worst nightmares and question their actions. Fade was once considered a bounty hunter, but now she is recruited to Protocol due to high praise from Cypher. Despite some like Jet not being a fan of it, her abilities allow her to be a great asset in gathering information. She originally fought the Protocol because she thought they took someone important to her, which turned out to be the wrong assumption. After this mission, Killjoy and Neon were able to get the teleporter working, plus Silver helped with some of recon and testing. And with everything good to go, Brimstone okayed a new mission to journey to Omega Earth. Episode 5 started with the likes of Reyna, Neon, and Killjoy traveling to Omega Earth, where they fought Viper and Atlas. Think of them as the time and space police who monitor interdimensional travel. Once the battle was over, they found themselves in a comic book shop within a dome city known as Pearl, located in
Comic books,
Lisbon, Portugal. Here, we find out that on Omega Earth, the agents are not a covert organization, but rather seen as heroes and go by the Valorant Legion. The reason why they journey to Alpha Earth becomes more apparent, as it is needed to save lives due to their Earth's climate, making life almost inhabitable for cities that were once easily hospitable. We also find out that many on Omega Earth live within these underwater biodomes made with the help of radionite. There are a lot of posters that let us know that Omega Earth is no stranger to traveling to other worlds, which continues to let us know how much more advanced Omega Earth is than Alpha. The likes of Oren McNiff and Ruben Portes are also seen as fugitives because Alpha citizens are not allowed on Omega Earth, at least according to Atlas. The Valorant Protocol would begin to do missions and set up ways to spy on Omega Earth, with the help of Cypher, Breach, and Fade. Thanks to their efforts, they knew that Harbor was an important player for Omega Earth's Valorant Legion. They found his Alpha Double on the run from Realm, an organization that works to recover rare old items that were stolen from thieves or on the black market. There seems to be no Omega Earth equivalent of them. They are seen as noble individuals since they return items back to the countries of origins. There are some rogue individuals in Realm that keeps the
So like Robin Hood type stuff, huh?
prize for themselves though. Regardless, after helping Harbor, Astra had a talk with him about his artifact and the City of Flowers. Harbor confirms that on Alpha Earth the city was destroyed, but could still be intact on Omega Earth. They found out that their artifacts were meant to be used as keys to unlock some kind of power on Lotus. Plans were quickly made afterwards. Harbor, Astra, and Sky all went to Omega Earth. From Pearl, they split up in Europe since Atlas was hot on their tail. Later, all three would regroup in India, where Sky decided to stay behind and successfully fight off Atlas. Episode 6 starts off with Alpha, Harbor, and Astra finding their way to Lotus on Omega Earth. During the
Wait, that's so depressing. That one character stayed behind. That's so depressing.
events of the
I hope they're okay.
Shadow cinematics, we discover that the Legion have other enemies that they face on Omega Earth, as well as the recruitment number of certain agents like Sage are different with the Valorant Legion. They also seem to have one.
I've got a question. Is Omega Earth like evil Earth? Is that what I'm discovering? Is that Omega Earth is evil Earth, or like I think that's what I'm like. That's what my theory is that like Omega Earth is like evil Earth.
Point having Agent 8, but their locker is all but gone, which is different from how Alpha Earth's Agent 8 locker is just scratched out. Once on Lotus, we see many details, structures, and hints that let us know that the Astral Guardians once worked with humans and helped advance parts of their society. It seems that they were able to genetically modify plants with the help of radionite. These radionite-infused plants will help power Lotus to move doors and bring about light. It also seems that plants were used to power the Nexus on Lotus, a Nexus mechanism theorized to help the Guardians travel to different worlds, which is where we saw Astra briefly activate it. It was speculated by Harbor that if it was activated on Omega Earth while its counterpart on Alpha was destroyed, it could bring calamity to Alpha Earth's India and possibly affecting more in the process.
What?
Luckily, a spike explosion goes off, draining power from it.
Okay,
Shortly after
thank
this,
goodness.
Fade had a vision of a possible future that no one on the protocol would want to see come to reality.
Brimstone, the nightmare came to me with a vision. Different from the rest, I saw the walls holding our world together fall apart.
Huh?
I felt the wind go still. I could smell the bitterness of blood and bile. I heard small, uncertain voices crying out, and I could taste the fear. There was so much of it, like the whole planet had fever. So I climbed. I climbed this tall cliff. It was jagged as bone, stretching up, dizzying. But with broken fingers, I reached the top and saw the end of our time. A silent window stretching over the ocean, filled with dead faces. And then I woke up. Brimstone, I have seen many things in my line of work, but we must not let this come to pass.
Around this time, weird things
What the fudgesicles? That's crazy. That's crazy. What the fudge? That's scary. That's so scary. Okay.
started
Okay.
to happen in LA, more specifically in Kingdom West facilities and the surrounding neighborhoods. Members of the protocol were sent to investigate. There, they found Gecko on the run. He was able to break into the facility and escape with the help of his radivores, one of which opened a portal for him to escape. He will continue to stay in contact with the Valorant protocol, mainly through Reyna, before joining their ranks. After this, Maxbox started to act weirdly. Jet was also working as an undercover chef out of Cypher's surveillance truck. She was able to get some details about a cargo pickup in Norway. In episode 7, we got to see what this cargo shipment was. A radivore bear who destroyed the Project Landfall facility. Deadlock and her team of hunters were sent to investigate it. This bear was able to take down everyone but Deadlock herself. During all this fighting, it seemed the bear was able to make a telepathic connection with Deadlock after biting her arm.
There's so much. There's so much. Part of me is still confused. Like, I know it's. I got like. Hold on. How much is left? Okay. What was I saying? Low-key, I'm still kind of confused because this is a lot. So, like, so far, there's Alpha and Omega worlds, and they have the exact same people. Omega seems evil, and they're trying to get Radiance, but Radiance isn't people, but it's also an armor from, like, the foot of the old Japan. But, yeah, still, I feel like I still got a lot of questions, but there is currently 4 minutes left, so hopefully we get some answers, because I'm still confused.
After these events, Sova was sent to Norway due to a tip that Jet got. He was able to recover Deadlock and bring her to HQ, where Killjoy fitted her with a new arm. Around this time, Maxbox went fully rogue and trapped some of the agents in different locations, which would eventually become TDM
That's so mean. That's so mean.
maps. Shortly after this, Deadlock pressured Brimstone to order a raid onto the Sunset facility, as well as lock up Gecko's creatures. She was only able to get one of these requests met with the help of others on the team saying that Kingdom's experiments needed to be stopped. They were able to break into the facility and fight off the guards. However, Wingman was needed to shut down the portal. The process left a giant sinkhole outside of Kingdom West facilities. Sunset gives us a couple of insights into Valorant's story. For one, Paul is still alive, and two, a radivore that goes by ZN35 escaped.
Yay, Paul's alive. Sorry.
Shortly after the destruction of Kingdom West, some of the workers who escaped returned to scrap together the remaining project. However, they were met by ISO, a hitman whose nickname is the Dead Lilac. He was able to successfully eliminate them, however his next task was Omen. He got into contact with Cypher asking for protection from his employers. They brought him aboard and Sage details his powers as being able to manipulate Radianite to form structures, as well as construct an arena within the Interverse. This leads us to episode 8, where Omen, Cypher, Sova, and to some extent ISO went to two hideouts, the first one being based in Morocco, where Cypher showed out his prowess, and we get to see the same individual that was tailing Fade in the Shatter cinematic. Which means that this organization is present on both Alpha and Omega Earth, as well as being an antagonist to both the Valorant Protocol and the Valorant Legion. They shortly found themselves in Indonesia after the interrogation, where Omen was able to recover the outlaw sniper. We were able to get a lot of information about Omen and his former employers. Their mission was to keep Radiant Knight hidden from the public, Omen was seen as one of their best agents, and he was tasked with ending Viper. However, Viper was able to get the upper hand and trap and change Omen to the being that we know of today. One of the leaders of this organization went splat.
I got a question. Who is Omen? What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, hold on. Maybe. Hold on. Yami texted. Turns off power. Yami texted me. She was like, "Does it turn off power?" I'm muting. Turns off power, which mutes me, and I can't yell at my chat.
Off camera.
I don't know if you just understand anything I just said, but yeah.
However, this revelation of Omen's past caused a drift between him and Viper. We were also able to get the name of Omen and Isol's former employers as the Scions of Hourglass. Shortly after, Omen decided to go on his solo dolo Batman arc and leave the protocol to find more answers about this group
Batman
and his past. His journey led him to Edinburgh, Scotland, where Clove was found and recommended to the protocol. It turns out that one of Clove's powers is immortality. They travel to a different plane of existence and can interact with the land of the living from there. Cypher and Clove were able to decode a journal leading to another Scion's base described as the Elder Grotto. The team made plans to attack it. Iso, Omen, and Clove were able to successfully take it. This map will be known as the Abyss, holding many Radianite artifacts dating back hundreds of years ago. Research into Radianite infused plants and animals, as well as a security unit that seemed to hold a very important individual. 3 stray bullets hit a containment unit, which eventually helped this individual break free. In episode 9, we found out
Wait,
that
who's the individual? I was not told who the individual. Wait, hold on. Did I miss that? Did I miss important lore because I was texting Yami to fix my mic?
security unit that seemed to hold into Radianite infused many Radianite artifacts dating back hundreds of years ago. Research into Radianite infused plants and animals, as well as a security unit that seemed to hold a very important individual. 3 stray bullets
I need to know who the individual
hit a
is.
containment unit.
The claws. I don't know the Valorant characters that well. What did the claws mean?
Which eventually helped this individual break free. In episode 9, we found out that they would go on a vengeance spree, destroying many of the Scion's bases. The team would try to intercept this person in Korea, and almost fail to do so if it wasn't for Omen. We would find out that this person will go by the call sign Vice,
Vice.
and that she has a
That's
history
cool.
with Kingdom, the Scions, and Viper too. She has the ability to manipulate an alloy that is carbon-based and infused with Radianite that only can be found through her. Omen and Viper will also have talks, and it seems that he's back with the protocol too. This is all the
Woo! Omen's
information that I
back!
wanted to cover.
Woo!
Like I said, this purpose was a bare bones video to help people get into Valorant's lore. Just
Thank you.
focusing on key
I
and major
appreciate
events.
it. Thank you. I appreciate